Paul. I just wanted to understand insight and judgment. Mr. Budnick had no insight into how his delusional beliefs have impacted his life, and instead viewed law and government agencies for persecuting him as an explanation. Well, as Mr. Budnick, right, my insight into the alleged delusional beliefs that I have, I do understand it how it has impacted me. Let's say you informed law enforcement, yes, that they issued a court order where you were not given any notice of court hearings. Yes. Where the petitioner didn't appear in court and she didn't sign the court order. Yeah. They used a forgery of someone that was not elected to office. Yes. And then they served you in the Sequim Public Library by an individual that is not a sheriff. Yes. And then they served somebody other than yourself. Now, instead viewed law and government agencies. Malicious harassment is a form of persecution. Now, I've been arrested for crimes in Sequim, Washington when I was not there. Yeah. And nobody would admit the evidence. They said I was crazy. Oh, that my delusional belief of where I was at on that day and time was absolutely incorrect and I had to have been there. And then I was arrested again in 2017 for a failure to appear for a two-count criminal complaint where one of the criminal complaints was I violated a protection order. Yes. Where the petitioner wasn't in court that day. Yes. And the RCW say you have to appear in court as the petitioner or the protection order will be dismissed. Yes. And you will not have the protections of the order. Right. And you have to appear within 14 days. You can't docket a court hearing 40 days later. Yes. And you can't renew the protection order. And you can't use forgeries. Right. And you can't have court hearings unless there's proof of service. Now, this whole insight and judgment, yes, I'm delusional for thinking that the law enforcement in this county and in Jefferson County is actually maliciously harassing me, and that government agencies known as the FBI, pooch, the state of Washington, really, I'm the one that's delusional for not knowing where I was at on December 31st. And then I email you a copy of the same email that I sent on June 16th, pooch. And for some reason, I'm delusional for not understanding where I was at. Now, am I being persecuted? You don't want me to sue you. You don't want me to sue Western State Hospital. You don't want me to sue Brett Roberts. Presiding Judge, Jefferson County District Court, Judge Landis. Yes. Jack Range and the Jefferson Associated Council, yes, and Carol Kirk, the Jefferson County Designated Crisis Responder. And then I emailed all the crisis responders in Washington State. And then somebody said, well, Paul, are you okay? Because I remember Officer Sidekick. Yes, yes, yes. Somebody named Jennifer from the Peninsula Behavior Health was concerned about me. Ooch. I said, I'm reporting a crime and I'm just fine. And Officer Sidekick, when I was reporting a crime. Now, numerous times I've told law enforcement that I want my civil rights enforced. Every time I've said it, they've said, well, he's just crazy. Then I said, I want my sons returned. He said, no, we're not going to do it. You can. Well, I've said I wasn't in Sequim, yes, but they wouldn't admit the evidence. I said I wasn't in Brennan. They wouldn't admit the evidence. they, they would not remove their court orders and they would not give me any due process. Well, Jennifer, at Peninsula Behavior Health, which I remember Officer Sidekick because I don't know his actual name. Yes. And the officer thought, well, too bad. He's reporting a crime. We don't have to enforce the law. Crisis responders don't have to respond. I thought you did. I thought you did have to respond when it's malicious harassment. I thought you did have to respond when it's child abduction, when it's kidnapping, when it's the fraudulent issue of court orders, so that my rights as a father are not enforced. I thought I had the right to sue every crisis responder in the state of Washington right now. I thought I did. I emailed every one of them, and not a one of them recognizes the actual truth of the laws of the United States. Why is that, Carol Kirk? Why don't you see